Once this goes running, you might want to just make it big.
Oh, look at that. Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Pablo. Okay, so we're about to start this live boosting immunity cooking class with me, Andrea Beaman, and Amanda in the chat, and Pablo on the, what is that thing called? Camera.
Remember, there's like 5 to 10 seconds lag.
Yes, of course. Of course. So we're going to start this. And this class was inspired by one of the people inside my community, Leslie. She wanted to know more about medicinal mushrooms, right? So I figured, well, we're going to do a boosting immunity live class. Let's incorporate the mushrooms because everybody loves the mushrooms, right? Everybody loves the mushrooms. So I can see the chat here, and then we're going to start cooking. We got a lot of fun stuff. I got 2 great recipes for you today. Well, I think they're great. Hopefully you'll think they're great. Hey, from Guatemala. Hi, Melanie. Hello, Linda from the Berkshires in the mountains. She said, Whopper, I found you. I used to work at Burger King. Little known fact. When I was a teenager, 14 years old, I worked at Burger King. I used to dish out Whoppers. Hi, Maureen. How you doing? Hello from Calgary. Canada. That's Lucy from Canada. Michelle from Maryland. Hello. Okay. Yes, this Jan. This apron, one of the gals inside my community, Jan, makes these great aprons. Oh, Pablo, I do need this to be a little, it's too low. Hold on, technical difficulties. We have a wardrobe malfunction. Hold on. It's like Janet Jackson. Oh, I got it. Wardrobe malfunction. So this apron was created, handmade by Jan Pavelko. She is a member inside my Health is Wealth community, and she makes amazing aprons, and she hosts cooking classes. She's a lot of fun. Jan, put in your information into the chat so that people could find you if they want a cool, wonderful, beautiful apron like the one I'm wearing. Thank you very much. Christine, hey, Christine, how you doing? Vermont, Mark. Oh, Mark from Vermont. Mark, your mom is Karen, I think. Sarah goes global. Hey, okay, so we're going to start this class. We're talking about boosting immunity naturally. And for those of you that are surrounded by people that are sick, everybody's got a cold. They got a sore throat. They're sniffling, they're sneezing. They're not feeling good. They're exhausted. They're chronic fatigue. They can't get out of the bed. They're like, what is going on? I'm catching every little illness. So that means that your immune system needs a little boost. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook today with foods that are going to boost your immune system, and specifically focusing on some fun mushrooms, thanks to Leslie, who inspired this class. Leslie is also in my Health is Wealth community. So she said she wants to learn more about mushrooms. So let's dig right in. So for those of you that are inside my community, you got a handout. For those of you that are not inside the community, follow along the best that you can. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is medicinal mushrooms. And Amanda posted up this inside the community, plus she sent out an email. So you got this. Even if you can't find it now, you'll find it later. So what do you know about mushrooms besides the fact that everybody's using them right now? You got mushroom tea, you got mushroom coffee, you got mushroom supplements, you got mushroom this, mushroom that. Everybody's using mushrooms. What is the deal with mushrooms? What do you know about mushrooms? Put it into the chat. Hi, Michelle. Put it into the chat. What do you know about mushrooms? Why are they so good at boosting immunity? While I'm waiting for you guys to click the brain cells together, right? Make everything function well up there. I'll give you a couple of hints. With medicinal mushrooms, specifically shiitake, maitake, reishi, chaga, turkey tail, lion's mane, with these mushrooms, you have both fat soluble and water soluble compounds that actually support immunity. So the water soluble constituents are things like polysaccharides, and they are the sugars that feed the bacteria in your gut the prebiotic that they need so that they can be strong and healthy, right? When we eat food, we get strong and healthy. When your bacteria eats the food that they need, the polysaccharides, they get strong and healthy too. And then where does the majority of your immunity live? Where does it live? In your gut. That's where it lives. It lives in your gut. So, unless you're living on planet Mars, everybody knows that, right? Over 70% of the immune system is in the gut. So you want to feed the bacteria that's in the gut the things that they need to thrive. And you don't want to overfeed them because then you're going to go down the road to SIBO, right? Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So mushrooms contain polysaccharides, which are water soluble, but they also contain fat soluble vitamins and minerals as well. So some of the fat soluble things in mushrooms are like vitamin D, right? You don't have access to the vitamin D unless it's combined with some sort of fat. So lion's mane is one of those mushrooms that has a lot of fat soluble constituents. So many people are taking lion's mane in a supplement with water first thing in the morning. Well, how are you gonna download and download like your computer? How are you gonna download the fat soluble vitamins and minerals that are in lion's mane that are good for the brain if you're only having it with water, right? And then the same goes for people that are just sauteing all their mushrooms, right? Like they're sauteing their shiitakes, they're sauteing their mayatakes, right? You guys can see this stuff, right? So shiitakes have both water soluble and fat soluble. So these need a combination in order for you to have your best, right? So you want to saute them, but also put them in water, or do a combination, or have them in water and then add a little oil or a little fat. Same thing with mayatakes, right? So this is a mayatake. And mayatake is also called hen of the woods, right? Look at that little beauty. And hen of the woods helps to regulate your blood sugar. This is how it supports immunity. So we're going to do a combination of both water soluble and fat soluble just to show you what I'm talking about and how you can make these benefit you. Because if you're, like I said, if you're taking the lion's mane in water in the morning with nothing in your stomach, so you won't have any fat in your system like to break down and absorb the nutrients that you need, then it's not really going to support your brain, right? So that's something that needs fat. So yes, Sarah, there's always a fungus among us. Oh, yes, Deborah, beta-glucans, also water soluble. Very good. Very good. Maureen says, love my mushrooms. Diana says, hello to all. Diana says, to detoxify, yes. Oh, yeah, should we start cooking? It's 1:09. Should we start cooking and talk about detoxification as we, okay. Before we go into the cooking of it, so mushrooms, do you know what mushrooms do in the forest? As I'm getting my pot ready, I want you to think about what does a mushroom do in the forest? And then I'll tell you why and how it detoxifies the system. Okay? What do mushrooms do in the forest? Anybody have any idea about that? You guys just talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. What does a mushroom do in the forest besides sit under a tree and look pretty cool? Okay, so mushrooms are the decomposers, right? If something dies or something needs to die, the mushroom goes in there with all of its mycelium and it starts to break down all of the parts of that thing that should be dying and it's not, right? They're the decomposers. So that's how it detoxifies your body, right? It's not that it's decomposing you. That's not the way that it works. But if there's something in your system that needs to die that is not dying, that's where mushrooms do their best work energetically, right? So that's why, for those of you that are like, oh, mushrooms are great for cancer. Mushrooms, you want an anti-cancer, put mushrooms. That's the reason why. Because the cancer is something that's supposed to be dying, but it's multiplying, it's growing out of control. So the mushroom's like, I'm going to take care of that. Energetically, I'm going to take care of that. Now, this will probably get taken off of YouTube because you're not allowed to say stuff like that. Right? That you're going to eat mushrooms and they're going to start to break down your little cancer cells and cause apoptosis. But that's the truth. Okay, so we're going to start cooking. Oh, Maureen says they communicate with each other. Yes, they do. They talk to each other, right? They talk to the whole forest, actually. They talk to every little thing in the forest. It's amazing. Cheryl says, put good fungus in the soil. Yeah, we need some fungus in the soil. That's very good. Jan says they talk to each other. Yes, Christine, break down and decompose. Marie says, break down trees that have fallen. Yes, and they need to be decomposed. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing that we're making, and for those of you that are in the community, you have this. You have all of the recipes. They were sent to you this morning from Amanda. So we're making a congee with tuna and mushrooms. And this is one of my favorite dishes because it's quick and it's easy. It's delicious. Even my husband loves it. And he is like, he only wants fried pig, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is his MO as a Cuban. Right? That's what he wants. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pig, French fries. I'm calling him out right now. But with this is something that he actually asked for. He's like, are you going to make the congee again? Are you going to make the congee again? So we had, the other night, we had sauteed chicken liver with white rice. So I have leftover white rice because the white rice is better with the chicken livers. It just works better. But if you have brown rice, you could use brown rice. If you have wild rice, you could use wild rice. So I'm taking 1 cup of the leftover rice and I'm going to put it into a pot, like a little soup pot. And then I'm going to add into that soup pot. Let me start this little guy up. Hold on one sec. Ooh. Here we go. I'm going to add into this soup pot some stock. Now, your recipe calls for chicken stock, but you could use vegetable stock, you could use beef stock, you could use mushroom stock, you could use any kind of stock that you want. So this is a beef stock that I got from my local farmers. And this is a quart, so this is 4 cups of beef stock. Now, for those of you that have a sensitive histamine reaction, then don't use a long cooked stock because the longer you cook it, the more you're going to have a histamine reaction, right? The more actually inflammation it's going to cause for people that have trouble with histamines. So for those people, whoever you are out there in the universe, right, in the YouTubeverse, for you folks, then you're just going to do a quick broth, like a 3 or 4 hour broth. You don't need a full-on 12-hour, 18-hour, or 24-hour stock, okay? So I'm bringing the rice, the 1 cup of leftover cooked rice with 4 cups of, this is beef stock, and I'm going to put into this mixture, hopefully my little flame will stay there, I'm going to put in some alaria. So alaria is a seaweed, for those of you that don't know. And you can soak this and chop it up and put it in, but I'm just going to crumble it right in. I'm going to take about a thumb's width, maybe 2 inches of this alaria, and I'm just going to crumble it right in here. So, does anybody want to take a guess why I'm putting in seaweed if this is to build immunity? You guys are smarties. I know you are. Let me know why you think I'm adding in a little bit of seaweed into this. And I'm just going to go over there and grab a cover. Okay. So why do you think I'm adding in seaweed? Anybody got it? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Minerals. Yeah. That's good, Cheryl. Minerals. Why else? Anybody? Iodine, Jan, excellent. Linda, iodine, excellent. Why would iodine matter for immunity? Anybody want to take a gander? Or minerals, for that matter. Why would it matter for immunity? Anybody want to take a little gander at that? By the way, I used alaria, but you can use kelp. And I got this from the Seaweed Man. He hand harvests all of his seaweed in Maine, clean waters, which matters. And then there's also Maine coast sea vegetables. This is kelp. So you could use kelp or alaria in this recipe. So let's talk about energetically. Remember, energetically, the mushrooms decompose things that should be dying, cause apoptosis of cells that are mutagenic, right? That's why it's good for the immunity, because it's really supporting the polysaccharides, and the beta-glucans are feeding the macrophages, which is breaking down and eating up all those mutagenic cells and taking care of the debris in the body. But the seaweed, it's rich in minerals, it's rich in iodine. There's a direct correlation with higher rates of cancer and lower iodine in the blood. So that's something to consider, especially for breast cancer. Like I had a friend, a young friend, she's only in her 30s. She just contacted me 2 days ago. And she said she has breast cancer and she doesn't know what to do. And, so I just gave her a couple of things to do. You don't have to do a lot, but there are some things you have to do. And she's like, great, seaweed, I'll put it into my diet. Right, but she still has to take out the ding-dongs and donuts. You can't just have seaweed and ding-dongs and donuts, you know what I mean? Let's say, oh, Christine says, I was just going to ask if kelp is good. Yeah, kelp is great, Christine. I love kelp. Salt helps our body absorb, Marie says. Yeah, it does. It helps your body absorb more minerals and hold on to water better. And that's energetically why seaweed is good, because seaweed is considered the water element, right? It's a water element food. So in your body, what is the lymphatic system, right? The lymphatic system is carrying all of your immunity cells, right? It's carrying them to where they need to go, to whatever site is damaged, right? Carrying it through the lymphatic system. So that's part of the water element. It's one of the reasons why when people are dehydrated, they're more prone to have weak immunity, because the water element isn't flowing in the body. So this literally comes from the ocean. It's watery, right? It doesn't look watery now, but it's a water element. It comes from the ocean, and it supports your water element inside your body. So this is up to a boil. I'm going to lower it to a simmer. I'm going to lower it to a simmer. And then that's going to cook for like 30 minutes or something like that. And then while that's cooking, I'll actually put it back here so that we could use the front burner. Let me let that heat up. Okay. Christine says, how can we measure the amount of iodine in a serving of seaweed? So Christine, I love the way that modern science has interjected all of those things into the way that we cook, but I don't know that they're going to benefit people, right? How much of a serving? 30 grams of this, 27 grams of that, 500 grams of this, right? So we can get neurotic. So if you can, try and get away from all of the facts and figures of how much. I need 27,000 milligrams of this a day. And I need that, right? All of that it's kind of biased. So I would just do what people of ancient cultures used to do, right? They put a little piece in. You don't need to worry about how much you're getting. Just put it in. Okay, so I'm tilting this off a little bit, and I'm going to put it into the back. Okay, and that's so it doesn't bubble over. And then we'll start working on the other components of this. Deborah says every cell in the body needs a little bit of iodine, and we are usually deficient. Deborah, yes. Every single cell in your body requires iodine. That is 100% correct. Christine says, Maureen says, so nori is a good snack? Yeah, nori is a fun snack, you know. It's a fun snack. I like it in, the little nori rolls. You like to chew on it every once in a while. But the best way to have your seaweed is in a water body, right? In a water, we're having it in a fungi, right? Which is similar to kind of like a soup. It's going to be similar to a soup or a stew, right? So that's the best way to have the seaweed is, and you could have it in sushi. It's, that's how it's almost like their sandwich paper, right? When I say the Japanese culture, their sandwich paper. So you can have it any way that you like, but the best way to support your immune system is to have it in a water base, right? Similar to what we're going to do with the mushrooms. We're going to saute them a little bit to get the fat-soluble constituents, and then we're going to add them into the water base so that we can get the polysaccharides and the beta-glucans, right? You guys understand that, right? I know, I'm talking to smarties. Okay, Heather says, the elements supersede the units in terms of importance. Yes, so, when I was first learning about food and healing, I was studying the 5 elements and how I think that trumps, just like what Heather said, I think that trumps everything. It trumps the portion size, it trumps the, you got vitamin D in this, and you got, vitamin C in this, and you got vitamin A in that, right? I think that the 5 elements trumps all of that. But I'm biased, right? I'm biased about this stuff. So let me just make sure, let me just turn this off. Okay. See that? I had it vibrating in my pocket. Boy, those things are annoying. Okay. So we have our rice cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just start to saute some veg. Okay. So what that looks like is we're going to use onion. And I'll talk more about the elements and the seasons. Like right now we're in the winter element or the kidney element, kidney bladder, right? It's the time to nourish the bones more deeply. It's a time to get more grounded. And we're going to talk about that. So in this little congee, and we have this for breakfast or lunch or dinner, it doesn't matter. You could have it any time of the day. This is what breakfast is. This is what lunch is. This is what dinner is. So we're putting in onions, and I slice them thin like little crescents. And does anybody know what onions contain that support the immune system? While you guys are trying to figure that out, I'm just going to cut up some shiitake mushrooms. I'm going to take off the stems. Shiitakes, by the way, have vitamin D, so they need a little bit of fat. So that's why we're going to saute them. We're going to saute them, and then we're going to put them into the water element. And also, for you community folks, it says we're using enoki mushrooms, but I couldn't find enoki at the store, and I couldn't get to the farmer's market on Thursday, and they usually have the enoki mushrooms at any mushroom stand at a farmer's market. So we're using shiitakes, right? You could use shiitakes, you could use the mayatakes, the hen of the woods. If you want, you could use, I wouldn't necessarily use oyster mushrooms in this, but you could. You could if you wanted to. I'm not going to hold it against you if you do. Just don't invite me over for breakfast. Okay, so I'm just going to chop up our shiitakes. And I took the stems off because you cannot eat the stems of the shiitake mushrooms because they're extremely woody. They grow on the side of oak trees. Right? If you have anybody ever been to a shiitake farm or seen shiitake growing in the wild? In the wild. Oh gosh. My heritage, my New York heritage just came out. In the wild. Okay. So back to the onions. Let's see if anybody got it. Allison, sulfur. Yes, inulin. You guys are good. You guys are good. I love this. Smarties. All smarties. Sarah says, I heard you could put onions on your feet if you have a cold. Yes, you can. You can also put them into this dish, but not after they've been on your feet, okay? So I'm going to saute these onions and this onion and mushroom. And the inulin, by the way, feeds the bacteria in the large intestine. And the large intestine gets the nutrients and the immune supporting elements get reabsorbed back into the system, and they support the lungs. So in Chinese medicine, you have the lung, large intestine as a complementary organ system, right? So whenever you're thinking about immunity and Wei Qi, right? Well, for those of you that don't know what Wei Qi is, it's your protective barrier against the elements, right? You want to be able to support your lungs because the lungs is the only organ that has direct access to the outside world, right? The heart doesn't do that. Your butt hopefully doesn't have access to the outside world, but your lungs do have access. So you have to protect them. So inulin-rich foods support the fungi and the bacteria in the large intestine that gets reabsorbed back into the system, which supports immunity. I know it's your whole body's connected, right? So I'm using a little bit of sesame oil, but you don't have to. I know some people are like, no seed oils ever. You could use olive oil, you can use ghee, you can use butter, you can use coconut oil, whatever lights your fancy. Whatever you got that makes you happy, use it. I don't use a toasted sesame oil on this because I don't want that toasted sesame flavor, but I do use a little extra virgin sesame oil. It's very clean tasting. So we're going to saute. Also, in the recipe, as you can see, I'll just show you the recipe one more time. You can see that there's red peppers in there. But we're not using a red pepper today, and then I'm going to show you why. What time is it? 1:30? We're good. We're going to be here till 2. I hope you cleared your calendar. Pablo's like, just give me the kanji. Stop all that talking. So I'm going to cook you hear that little sizzle? I'm cooking our onions. I'll throw a little salt in there. Let's get a little bit of salt in there. I'll also throw in our shiitakes. Those go right in. Put a little extra salt in there because it's winter time. I also have a little bit of ginger. Everybody knows ginger is great for circulation, but it also brings heat and warmth into the gut. And this is where you're going to break down your food and you're going to turn it into a bolus, right? And then that little bolus of nutrients is going to get squirted into your, this way, squirted into your small intestine, 1 teaspoon at a time every 20 minutes, right? So you want to make sure that this is all working well. Otherwise, there's going to be a backup here and you're going to feel bloated and distended and not well, right? So, just lost an onion down. So I'm going to turn this a little bit lower because it is too high. And then I'm also using carrots. So I'm going to tell you why we're using carrots. So the recipe I made the recipe over the summertime, so there were fresh peppers available. So it just made sense to use peppers. But we are in the heart of winter right now, right? We're in the middle of winter. So what it would be a better choice? The pepper or the carrot in the middle of winter to make this dish more nourishing and better for your immune system? I know that this has vitamin C. I'm clear on that. But what does this have that this doesn't have? Anybody want to take a guess? For winter time? Okay. Do you see the center of this pepper? Right? This is a very summery food, right? Light, airy. But it's kind of empty. It's kind of empty on the center. And then you see this carrot, right? This carrot has a strong descending energy, right? Very grounding energy. So for those of you that are feeling lost in the wintertime or ungrounded or like you've lost your way, you've lost your center, empty, right? You've lost your center. You're better off with something that is more grounding, because also in the wintertime, where is the energy? For those of you that have ever seen a maple tree, right? Or any tree, right? Except for the evergreens, right? And the conifers. Where is the energy in the wintertime? Yes, Maria. Carrots ground us. Where is the energy in the wintertime? It's in the roots, literally. That's why in the wintertime, people will suffer with more bone injuries, more aches in the bones, because the deepest part of us, our roots, right, is our bone structure. It's the bones. It's literally what's holding us together, holding us up in an upright position, right? You know, the skin is holding you together. Without your skin, you'd just be a blob. Just a blob of something or other. So for the wintertime, you could certainly have a pepper. Don't let me dissuade you. It's rich in vitamin C. It's fun. It's delicious. It brings a little color, right? But this is more appropriate for the wintertime, right? Grounding, strong, stable, very quiet. A carrot is very quiet compared to a pepper, right? Pepper, and also I wouldn't have peppers at night, right? Nightshade vegetables. I wouldn't have any peppers at night because they'll keep you up all night long. Okay, yes, Jan, it's in the roots. The energy is in the roots. That's correct. Mark says carrots is a root veg. Yes, Maureen, grounding root veg, correct. More grounding. Yes, you guys are smarty. Jan says, can we use the mushroom stems in our bag of veggie scraps when making stock? You can. It just imparts a different flavor. I would save the stems for a separate stock, just for a mushroom stock. It has a much different flavor than the other vegetables like onion, carrot, celery. You know, it's more umami. So I would save it for like just a plain mushroom stock. Okay. All right, so what else am I putting in here? Oh, the hara. People are like, don't use tofu. Tofu will kill you. So, Pablo, can you open that door a little bit? It's a little hot in here. I'm schwitzing and sweating. So I'm using a little bit of tofu in this congee, and I'm also going to use tuna, right? Just a jar of tuna. But you don't have to. If you're like one of the people that's like, I can't eat tofu, tofu is the devil, right? There are people out there like that. Then don't use tofu, right? Use something else. So I'm going to put our tofu in here as well. Tofu, when it's prepared correctly, is cooling, nourishing. It supports the kidney element. For those ladies that are going through menopause, it's a really good one to have, right? Have your tofu instead of like a bacon cheeseburger, right? If you want to bring a little more, just a little coolant into the system. You know, you don't want to cool like a watermelon, but certainly a little bit of coolant is good. Okay. It also supports the water element so it doesn't dry out. Okay. So, Lucy says, could be sulfur in the onions. Yeah, sulfur is in the onion. Sulfur is great, supportive for the liver. It's great for detoxifying. It's very good. So what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to take all of our onions and tofu and mushrooms and all the stuff that's in here, and I'm going to put it into our soup. But a soup's not going to be done yet, right? Because it's already been cooking, what, like 10, 15 minutes or something like that? So we'll turn this off. I'm just going to add that into our stew. Okay. Now, I'm going to finish it. Remember I said that this is rich in vitamin C. It's really good for you and all that stuff. But there's other ways to get vitamin C in the wintertime. And one of them is just to use a little bit of fresh parsley or cilantro or scallions. We're going to top that, when it's done, we're going to top it with some kimchi, also rich in vitamin C, right? So, let's see. While that's cooking, do you want to hear a little bit about mushrooms? So you can get, I know some people say they can't stand mushrooms. I love them. I probably have them all the time. So this is from the National Institute for Health, and also I think the American Cancer Society. That's all on my website. Turkey tail, which I didn't have on the list, but turkey tail is a potent mushroom prized for its beta-glucan polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are essential sugars that aid in activating immunity in the body. Clinical trials suggest that bacterial infections can be reduced using polysaccharides. The polysaccharides have strong communication with all T cells that are part of the white blood cells fighting off the infection. So now here's something interesting, right? Polysaccharides have a strong communication with all the T cells. So how many of you wrote that the mushrooms are talking to everything in the forest, right? They're communicating, right, through the mycelium. They're also communicating with your internal system, right? So mushrooms are good to have. All right. So that's going to cook for 5 minutes. I'm going to set up our next dish so we don't run out of time because it's 1:38. And the next dish is a lot of fun. You're going to love it. You're going to want to live with me after I show you how to make this dish. You're going to want to come over, snuggle up with me and the hubby. Okay. So the next dish is, let me grab this. It's an immune boosting hot cocoa. And like I said, Amanda put the handout into the community for those of you that are in the Health is Wealth community. So this immune boosting hot cocoa, so I chose this because it's January in the northeastern United States, New York State, right? It is cold. It is, it's going to be dreary. We're getting, I think, 14 inches of snow or 13 inches of snow on Sunday. And then ice storms, like everything is coming this way. So when you were growing up, and I know that when I was growing up in the 70s, right? What was the thing that you had in the wintertime? What was the go-to drink when you went outside and you were playing in the snow and throwing snowballs and crashing each other down with snowballs and creating big snow people with carrot noses? Oh, isn't that funny? Even the snowman knows. Even the snowman knows that the carrot is the wintertime thing, okay? Wait, he didn't have a pepper as a nose. He didn't have that as a nose. He has a carrot nose, okay? Just a little something for you to think about. So you would go in, cocoa, hot cocoa. That's correct. Oh, Marie, great question about eating mushrooms raw. No, we don't have the ability to break them down in our digestive system. We don't. So when I see people eating raw mushrooms, like they go to a salad bar and there's raw mushrooms there, it's a very bad idea. And I remember at an herbal conference, oh gosh, it had to be like 10 years ago, maybe nine years ago at an herbal conference. Paul Stamets, the world's most famous mycologist, was talking about don't eat your mushrooms raw. Like never, not any of them, especially not like cremini mushrooms. Don't ever eat them raw. They need to be cooked for a long period of time. Sauteed, right? Those mushrooms need to be cooked down. And he didn't say why, but you could, like from what he was talking about, it was because of the fact that we can't break them down, so they just kind of sit in the system, right? Unhealthfully, right? They'll just sit there. So let's get to the hot cocoa. Thanks for bringing that question, Marie. You're a goddess. Marie. Okay, so here we have our hot cocoa. Oh my gosh. So, cocoa, and then I'll put that together in just a sec. Let me just lower this a little bit so we don't lose all of our liquid. Okay, that goes on low. All right, so cocoa, everybody loves cocoa. Cacao, we're eating dark chocolate all the time, and 97%. And they tell me, my clients tell me all the time, they're like, oh, I just had 100% cocoa, 100% cacao, whatever it is. And I'm like, bleh. You know, that to me is, it's just, it's too strong. And it's not the way that cocoa was traditionally made. Cocoa was traditionally made with some type of milk, right? So to make our cocoa support our system and boost immunity, we're adding in some fun things, right? So we're going to add in a little bit of reishi as well as some cordyceps, and those both have water soluble and fat soluble constituents in them that support immunity. So you want to make sure that you're having it some type of liquid that also has fat, right? So for this, I'm going to use some raw milk from a cow. But if you are allergic to cow or goat or dairy or whatever it is, use an almond milk or a coconut milk or a cashew milk or whatever milk floats your boat, right? Everybody's doing some type of milk. So this milk I get from the Amish farmers, and I can't tell you where I get it from because it's illegal to have raw milk cross state lines. So I'm just going to tell you that this milk here fell off the back of a truck when I was driving down the highway, and boom, wouldn't you know it, I was in the right place at the right time. Now, for those of you inside the Health is Wealth community, there's a link where you can get raw milk. For everyone else, just research around, find yourself some raw milk if that's what you want. And if you can't digest milk for whatever reason, go for almond milk or coconut milk. So here's what we're going to do. I'll mix it outside the glass so you can see it. Now I'm going to make a cup for both me and Pablo. You want a cup of hot cocoa? So I'll make, I'll use 1.5 cups of milk. And then I'll put in a little bit of water, right? Just put in a little bit of water there. Or you could do half and half milk, half water. But like I said, it's going down to like 9 degrees or something like that today. So, we're trying to get as much fat in the system as possible before all the power shuts down. Okay? So you can use, where's my little cocoa bag? Here. 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder for each 8 ounces of water, right? And then you would take, you could use, oh, look at this. This is from Navitas. This is a superfood adaptogen blend. It has maca, it has reishi, it has ashwagandha. This one's a good one to put in. You could put 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces of this into your blend. Or you could take, this is Host Defense. Remember I was talking about Paul Stamets before? This is his company. He's a pretty good dude. And this one has agarikon, which is a mushroom that usually grows at the top of trees and it's huge, looks like a monster. Turkey tail, great for breast health for those gals that are here. Reishi, which supports the immune system. It's an immunomodulator, right? If your immune system is overactive, it tamps it down. If it's underactive, it boosts it up. Reishi is one of my favorites. I probably have reishi at least 3-4 times a week. Goji berries, which nourishes the kidney yin. And we're in the middle of like kidney winter, like what I was talking about before, and what Heather was talking about, the 5 elements. Like we're in the midst of that right now. It has astragalus root, and it has acerola, which is a form of vitamin C. So you can put a teaspoon of this in. Actually, I think this is just a half teaspoon. No, it's 1 teaspoon. So you could use this with this, and then you have an immune-boosting hot cocoa. And if you don't want to deal with any of that stuff, right, then find a local herbalist near you that is putting this stuff together, right? So that you don't have to. You don't have to do the work. You just have to reap the benefits. So I'm a big fan of supporting local herbalists and people that are doing the right thing. So there's a gal who lives up in Garnerville, and she's got a company. She's a young gal. She's got to be in her 20s, maybe. Maybe she's like 14. I don't know. She's young. But she started a company called Moon Ma Medicinals, right? Moon Ma Medicinals. And she creates these really nice blends. So this one is an aphrodisiac elixir, and it's got cacao. It's got, let me see, ginger, cinnamon, cordyceps. Cordyceps, by the way, this is great for immunity. It's got maca, so get your maca going. It's got mesquite, it's got cacao, and then you have medicinal. This is a medicinal cacao mix. So this one has cacao, mesquite, reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, and sea salt. So this one, if you want to boost immunity, this is the one I'm going to go with. But like I said, you could mix your own blends as well. Okay. And I'll give you guys a discount for Moon Ma. Amanda, if you can put into the chat Moon Ma Medicinals, find the link, put it into the chat, and then her code to get 10% off is HELLO10. That's it. Hello and the number 10. Can you guys see that? So I'm going to take a tablespoon. If I could find a tablespoon around here. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon for each 8 ounces of milk or water or whatever you're using. And I'm using the cacao blend with the reishi and the cordyceps. And this one has the lion's mane as well, right? So this is going to be supporting. I'm going to be like an Einstein by the time I finish this cocoa, right? I'm going to put a little pinch of salt in there. I'm also going to put in something that is not in there. I'm going to put in a little bit of cayenne pepper. Does anybody want to know why I'm putting in cayenne pepper into hot cocoa? Anybody want to take a gander on that? I'm also going to drop in some cinnamon. Right? Oh, and honey. I have a local honey. So this is from upstate New York. So we'll put that honey in as well. So let's see. Oh, the name of the Navitas blend is, this one is Organic Superfood Adaptogen Blend. You could get this at any Whole Foods, right? Pablo, you're taking this with you next week. You're looking at my stash. He's got a men's retreat next week. For those of you that have husbands that need to get away and need to come back to themselves,
2 days.
Oh, in two days. Oh, it's a 2-day retreat. It's a weekend retreat. And they're going to be cooking around fire and doing a sweat lodge and a lot of fun stuff. And you go to thevitalguide.com, go to their events, and send your husband there. Send your husband, give him the gift of a lifetime, get him out of the house. Okay? All right, so, yes, Jan! The cayenne pepper increases circulation, right? So the cacao is notoriously good for the heart, right? But we want to be able to get it in there, like literally get it in there. So you want to put a little bit of heat in this. And the cayenne pepper is amazing for supporting and moving the blood and moving circulation. It's a great, and also traditionally, when I say traditionally, like when we stole the cacao from the South Americans, right? And we took it and we made it our own. Hershey's chocolate. They used to make their cacao drinks with cayenne pepper, with spices, with things that would kind of warm it up and make it move through the system. Yes, Christine, it's the heat in the cacao. Heather says it's a circulatory chaperone. Takes various constituents to where they need to go. That was very well said, Heather. If you're not writing a blog, start writing a blog. If you are writing, because that was very well said. So if you are writing a blog, put it in so that people can find you, Heather, okay? Okay, so I'm going to put this here into my little cup. My cup. My cup has runneth over. I'm going to put in some honey. This is a local honey from upstate New York. So for, 16 ounces, I'm going to put in like almost a full tablespoon. You can make it sweeter if you want, or less sweet. And then I'm going to grab this guy. Yep. Because I want to whisk this a little bit. And then I'm going to put together the other dish, and I'll show you how to finish that. So hang tight. What do we got? Oh my God, 8 minutes? My gosh. Time flies. Time flies when you're in the kitchen cooking with friends. Okay. Oh, she says, thank you. I just started my Substack. I'm encouraged. Yeah. Circulatory chaperone. That is very good. It's very well said. Yes, please put your Substack in there so we could follow you. Okay. So while this is cooking, I'm going to finish our other dish because we only have now 8 minutes left. Okay? You guys took the time to come out with me today and join me here in my kitchen. So I'm going to show you how to finish this dish. Let's grab this one, a better looking one. Let me see if I have my kingdom for a, here it is. Dun, da, da, dun, dun, da, da. So, I didn't put the miso in, so I'm going to put the miso in first. Give me this. So I'm using miso, but you don't have to if you don't want. If it offends you, some people are like, I can't have soy, right? And they get all crazy about it. So I'm using South River miso. I'm using a white miso for this dish. And I'm going to use 1 tablespoon per cup of water. That's good. That's almost done in there. 1 tablespoon per cup of water. And I had 4 cups. That's actually a lot of miso. So let's go like this. If you don't like soy, you can also use like a chickpea. This is a chickpea miso. I'm sure you've seen that in your local Whole Foods. So if you cannot do soy, then pick another miso, use the chickpea miso. And if you don't want to use any fermented food at all for whatever reason, then you could just use salt. Because what this is this is a salt seasoning, okay? So I'm going to take a little bit of our liquid from out of the pot. And I'm just going to combine this. Oh, look at this guy. Everything's ready at the same time. Perfect timing. So this guy is up to a boil. And it smells so delicious, crazy good. So I'm going to put it inside. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to put it inside this delicious little cup here. Except I only have 1 of these guys, so let me see. I'll use this little cup because I don't have a second ladle. So I'm just taking the hot cocoa out. I'll give this one to Pablo. And I'll save the other one for me. And I'm going to finish this hot cocoa with, again, I like Morgan's products, right? Like I said, she lives up the road. She's got really good stuff. So this is a marshmallow, an herbal marshmallow that's made with actual marshmallow root. And what is marshmallow root good for, besides everything? Anybody want to take a gander? I'm sure Heather knows. What is marshmallow root good for? These are homemade marshmallows. They have calendula, which is good for the lymphatic system. They have a little bit of rose in there, good for the heart. What else does she have in here? Marshmallow root, good for the kidneys, good for the bones, good for digestion. It's not a Stay Puff marshmallow. Totally different. She also has a little bit of lavender in here, raw honey, grass-fed gelatin. So, Pablo, you want a whole marshmallow? A half a marshmallow. That's smart. So I'll cut that. This one goes to Pablo. Pablo, can you hold this in front of the camera so people can see your little marshmallow floating around in there? The hands come out. Hopefully you guys can see that. You see little marshmallows in there? Okay. Oh, the wind just started. Yeah, you could close that now. So I'm just combining our miso with the little bit of soup that I took out, because if I just plop the miso directly into the congee, it's just going to sit there. I'm going to be chasing it around for half an hour trying to find the little lump and make it so that it's dissolvable, right? Okay. So miso needs to cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. So while that's cooking, I'm going to finish answering questions, and we're going to finish that dish in 2 minutes. You could use, like I use tofu, but I'm also using tuna on top of the congee because I like a hearty, warming dish, right? Not everybody likes tuna, and not everybody likes tofu, right? So you could use sardines, right? And I like to get the glass jars. I know that they're more expensive, but I prefer to get the glass jars most often. So if you have trouble with your bones, go for the sardines, because the sardines have little bones which break down very easily, and you're getting a lot of calcium. If you don't like sardines, not everybody likes sardines, you're also getting a ton of omega-3s in here. There's also salmon. You could get jarred salmon, right? That's pre-cooked. This stuff is all pre-cooked, right? It's not raw. I'm putting this on top of the dish to finish it. I'm going to show you what a finishing looks like. Okay. Yes, Jan says, what about salmon instead of tuna? Yes, Heather, the marshmallow soothes the mucilaginous membranes. That's correct. Okay. Gut health. Yes, Cheryl. Kidneys. Yes, Deborah. That's marshmallow root is amazing. You know, we've taken the marshmallow and turned it into something horrible. But there are still people that can create really good marshmallows, like really good for you marshmallows. Okay, so I'm going to grab our soup. And I'm going to put some fresh cilantro in there to freshen it up, give it a little bit of deliciousness. I'm also going to use this tuna, right? Oh, didn't mean to put that on, you guys. And this tuna, this is a tuna in truffle oil, but sometimes I like the tuna that has a little bit of chili oil. That's delicious. I'm going to put that right on top. This is going to be lunch. That's yummy. And then I am going to finish with a little kimchi, right? So again, prebiotic, probiotic. Kimchi's rich in vitamin C. Totally delicious. So this kimchi is going to come on like our condiment right on the top, just like that, to make it all pretty and beautiful. So Pablo, I need your hand again, because if I hold it out, I'm afraid I might spill it. Can you see that? You let me know if you could see that. So this is a great breakfast or lunch. Is it in the shot?
There, then it's filled up.
Okay, here you go. Okay, so this is your immune boosting cooking class. 2 simple little dishes that you could make. You know, like this literally takes 30 minutes, and you'll have a delicious, wonderful breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's rich in nutrients. It supports the immune system. You got your mushrooms in there. You got your kimchi. You got your onions. You got other things in there that's going to support immunity. It's in a water base, right? And then you also have a nice, fun little hot cocoa. You know, it's snowing outside where I am. You may not be in a snow-filled environment right now, but we're going down to like 9 degrees tonight or tomorrow. And then I have a hot cocoa with some reishi, cordyceps, a little bit of milk. Like I said, if you can't do milk, then do almond milk, a coconut milk, or some fun little milk, right? Make it fun. Make cooking fun. Otherwise, you're going to be like, I'm not getting into the kitchen. Heck no. And then a little marshmallow. Boop, I'm going to put that one in there. So, yes, marshmallows are at Moon Mom Medicinals, and use that code. She's great, by the way, young kid. Use HELLO10. Now, for those of you that are inside the community, like I said, the handout, the presentation with all the recipes is already inside the community. Amanda uploaded it this morning. For those of you that are interested in the community, you go to andreabeaman.com/health community. You know, we have lots of fun classes. There's lots of fun classes and lots of fun stuff. And let's see, anything else? Did I forget anything? I think I talked about everything we needed to talk about today. Cheryl says, this was a great class, Andrea, and I'm going to order the marshmallow and powders. Yeah, get in there. You know, this is the season for, you know, hot cocoa and marshmallows. This is a season for it, right? So order it. Especially before this storm comes and shuts the whole world down for however long they're saying, right? 5 days, a week, 10 months, who knows? Till the summer, right? It's just going to shut everything down until June. Maria says, what kimchi brand do you use? I hop around. I do a bunch of fun little kimchis. This one is from Real Pickles. But I also like Hawthorne Valley. And when I go to the farmer's market. I sound like I sound like a mafia boss. I go to the farmer's market. Then I'll get some of the local kimchi, whoever's making it locally, because then I'm getting the bacteria from this environment, right? Each environment has different stuff, right? That's one of the reasons why I get the honey from upstate New York and not from New Zealand. I love people in New Zealand. I love the fauna and the flora in New Zealand, but what am I getting? How am I getting benefit from the honey, the New Zealand Manuka honey, right? I'm not getting any of the little pollens or anything like that into my honey, but this honey from upstate New York is perfect for me because I'm in New York, because the bees are, you know, flying around to all the different flora in the environment, so it's going into the hive and I'm getting the benefit. It's like a little immune shot or a little allergy shot, right? I don't want to dissuade you from the New Zealand Manuka honey, but you don't need to spend $30 on a honey that's from another country. Right? It's not going to really benefit you. Get your local stuff. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. Heather says, I'm going to check out those marshmallows. Delicious in my matcha cocoa latte with mushrooms. Of course. Kathy says, I love Hawthorne Valley. Yeah. Okay. So it's 2:05. Thank you everyone for coming out to this live cooking class. For those of you that are inside the community, Amanda's going to be sending out a survey to find out what do you want to learn about next. What do you want to learn how to cook? What are you feeling? What are you hungry for? Right? What do you want to know? She's going to send out that survey. You guys let us know because this is all about you, right? We cater literally to you. Okay. I think that's it. I'm sending everybody a whole lot of love. Keep yourself healthy and happy throughout the winter season. Enjoy your food and make the best of it, right? Try and stay as local, as seasonal as possible because it's going to support you, right? Just remember this, right? You can certainly have this. Right? It's good for you. This is better for right now. Doesn't mean you can't have that. Okay. But have some of this. All right, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you. I'll see you around. Well, I'll see the community people next week. We have somebody that's going to be talking about breathing into the bones. An expert's going to be talking about breathing into the bones. And this is the season of the bones. Don't get me started. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone. I'm going to figure out how to shut this off. Or actually, Pablo, can you help me figure out?
And broadcast.
End the broadcast. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone. Let's see. Let's go here.
And just turn off the camera.
No, on the other side.